You know what kills more good contractors than bad bids? Missing payroll. Just once. Your best foreman starts answering his phone during lunch, and it ain't to talk to his wife. Within 2 weeks, he's gone. And he's taken three of your best hands with him. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. Construction cash arrives in chunks. Monthly pay apps, quarterly draws, retainage stuck in purgatory. But payroll? That freight train runs every Friday right on schedule, whether your last pay app cleared or not. Most contractors handle this backwards. They either scramble for emergency loans every slow season, or they keep that one giant slush fund that gets rated for everything from payroll to new equipment to covering that job that just went sideways.
That's like using your Sunday dinner money to fix the transmission. It might work once, but you're going to be mighty hungry come winter. PFCC has a better way, the seasonality buffer drip account. Think of it as a rain barrel for your payroll. You fill it up during the good times, and it keeps your crew watered through the dry spells.
I'm Wade Carpenter, CPA, and today I'm going to show you the simple math and systems that let smart contractors run payroll like clockwork, even when cash flow looks like a roller coaster.
Walk any job site during a cash crunch, and you'll see the damage immediately. Crews check their phones more than their levels. Productivity drops before paychecks do. That's poison for a construction business. Here's the math that bites you. Your GC pays on the 15th, but your crews expect their check on Friday the 8th. That 7-day gap can sink you if your last allocation ran thin. And it's not just timing. Construction revenue follows seasonal patterns that payroll completely ignores. Your concrete crew doesn't care that it's January and your jobs are frozen. Your roofing foreman doesn't factor weather delays into his mortgage payment. Payroll is a fixed cost disguised as a variable expense. Most contractors discover this the hard way, usually around the second week of December when winter hits and the bank account's running on fumes. Standard Profit first tells you to allocate twice a month on the 10th and 25th. That's fine if you're selling insurance. But construction moves faster and meaner than that. Let me show you the problem with napkin math. If your weekly payroll is $15,000 and you're allocating every 14 days, you're asking your payroll account to float $30,000 between funding events. Most contractors can't sustain that buffer, so they rob other buckets or skip allocations entirely. That's why PFCC adapts the system to weekly or biweekly allocations that sync up with how construction actually works.
Profit First for commercial construction makes three critical changes that original Profit First misses.
First, a dedicated payroll account, not optional, required. When the IRS comes knocking or the bank decides to freeze accounts, your payroll money sits safe and sound in its own little fortress. Second, weekly or biweekly allocations that match your actual payroll rhythm. No more starving for a week out of every two. Third, and this is the big one, PFCC uses two different buckets for two different problems. Emergency Vault. This is your don't touch money for when the world catches fire. Equipment breaks down. Market crashes. Somebody gets hurt on the job. Drip account. This is your planned buffer for predictable stuff, like winter slowdowns, school calendar gaps, and those pay app delays we all know and love. Mixing these up is like using your truck's spare tire as your daily driver. It might work for a while, but you're going to be sorry when you really need it. Winter comes every year, friends. It ain't a surprise. Treating a predictable problem like an emergency is how you end up with nothing left when a real emergency hits.
The seasonality buffer drip account is purpose-built for one job, keeping your payroll steady when cash flow gets lumpy. Here's the engineering.
During spring and summer, when you're busier than a one-legged cat in a sandbox, you allocate surplus into the drip. Come winter when work slows down, you meter that money into payroll every week, same as always. The key word is meter, not dump, not raid, not borrow from it when things get tight. You move a predetermined amount from drip to payroll on your regular schedule, whether the pay apps are flowing or dried up like a creek in August. Let me show you the napkin math with a real example. Your typical weekly payroll is $12,000. Every winter, revenue dropped 40% for 8 weeks while payroll stays mostly flat, maybe down to $10,000 a week with reduced hours. Here's the gap calculation. Normal revenue supports $12,000 a week easily. Winter revenue supports maybe $7,200 a week. Weekly shortfall, $10,000 minus $7,200 equals $2,800. Total winter gap, $2,800 times 8 weeks equals $22,400. So your drip floor, the minimum balance you keep in that account, needs to be at least $22,400 before winter hits. Then you set up a weekly transfer of $2,800 from drip to payroll during those slow 8 weeks. Payroll stays funded, crews stay employed, no emergency borrowing. You're not hoping and praying the pay app clears before Friday. You do the math in August, you fund the account in October, and now you sleep like a baby while your competitors are begging their banker for bridge loan. That's the difference between running a business and being run by one. Step 1. Map your reality. Pull out last year's financials and mark the patterns. Which months are consistently slow? How long do pay app delays typically last? When do school calendar projects pause? Quick rule. If it happens every year at roughly the same time, it belongs in your drip calculation. Winter ain't an emergency, it's calendar math. Step 2. Calculate your drip floor. Take your slowest period and run the numbers. Weekly payroll during the slow stretch. Weekly revenue during the slow stretch. Shortfall per week times number of slow weeks equals your drip floor. Step 3. Set up the accounts. Open these as separate bank accounts. A payroll account, funded by allocations, holding 2 to 3 weeks of payroll. A seasonality buffer drip account, pre-funded to your calculated floor. And an emergency vault, separate and untouched for true crises only. Step 4. Establish the meter. Set up automatic transfers that match your payroll cadence. Weekly crew, weekly transfer. The amount is based on your gap calculation. And here's the critical part. The transfer happens on schedule, regardless of your cash position. This removes emotion from the decision. You're not making a judgment call every Friday about whether you can afford to pay people. The system runs, period. Step 5. Maintain allocation-first discipline. Even when payroll pressure mounts, allocate to all buckets first. Profit, owner's comp, tax, OPEX, JobEx. Then meter from drip to payroll. This is crucial. If you skip allocations to cover payroll gaps, you're hiding JobEx and OPEX overruns. That's like unplugging the smoke detector because you're tired of it beeping. The problem's still there. You just can't see it anymore. If you can't see the problem, you can't fix the problem. And if you can't fix the problem, pretty soon the problem fixes you. Rule number 1. Don't raid the vault for seasonal stuff. Your emergency vault is for genuine emergencies, equipment failures, accidents, market crashes. Don't touch it because winter happens every year. If you keep using emergency money for predictable slowdowns, you won't have emergency money when you actually need it. Rule number 2. Use the 8-week hiring gate. PFCC has a simple rule. Only add headcount when your payroll account shows an 8-week rolling surplus after allocations. This prevents you from using the drip to justify hiring too fast. The drip exists to smooth timing, not to mask overhiring. Rule number 3. Keep owner pay separate. Don't mix owner distributions with crew payroll. Fund owner's compensation on the same rhythm, but in its own account. When times get tight, you'll be tempted to sacrifice owner pay to keep crew happy. That's a one-way ticket to broke. Rule number 4. If your drip floor gets breached repeatedly, that's not a cash flow problem. That's a business problem. It means your estimates are off, your billing's too slow, or your costs are creeping up faster than you think. Don't borrow money to rebuild a depleted drip. Instead, pause all new hiring immediately. Review your job costing, tighten up your billing cycles, and cut non-essential OPEX until you rebuild the buffer. Think of drip depletion like your truck's oil light coming on. It's not telling you to drive faster, it's telling you to pull over and figure out what's wrong.
Look, this system isn't complicated, but it does require discipline. The good news, once you set it up, it runs on autopilot. Your crews get paid like clockwork, you sleep better at night, and you stop making desperate phone calls to your banker every winter. Everything I just walked you through, the drip account, the allocation rhythm, the separation of JobX and OpEx, the whole PFC system, it's all laid out step by step in the book, Profit First for Commercial Construction. You can grab it on Amazon right now. Or if you want help implementing this in your specific business, head over to profitfirstconstruction.com and book a call with our team. We work with contractors every day who are tired of the cash flow roller coaster. And let me tell you something else. This ain't about getting rich quick. This is about keeping the people who depend on you from getting hurt by your cash flow problems. That's worth the price of a book and a couple of hours of your time, don't you think? If this video helped you see payroll in a different light, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We put out practical, no BS construction finance content every week. Stuff that actually works on real job sites with real crews. I'm Wade Carpenter. Stop treating predictable problems like emergencies. Winter comes every year. School breaks happen every summer. Pay apps get delayed because that's what pay apps do. Plan for it, fund for it, and meter through it like the professional you are. Your crew's counting on you. Make sure you're counting on a system that works.